Hello and welcome back to JOKAKAKA. I'm Jim.
And I'm Sam.
Today we're going to be talking about the new chapter of JoJoLands.
Yes.
Chapter 23, I believe it's called Dolphin's Bank Debt Collection Part 2.
I do.
So before we do that, as always, we love to give a big JOKAKAKA-shaped, a big J-shaped thank you to our patrons.
J-shaped
to our patrons.
And if you want your name shouted out before these episodes, you can just leave anything you're comfortable leaving on our Patreon. And Jim, go ahead and list those lovely people.
This month we are thanking Truffle, Gilbo, Odds, Go-Go, Gappy, Perpetually Angry, Ariane, Blintz, Blueface, Illicit Pencil, Classic Andy, Ninonen, Sabat, and Call Me K. Once again, thank y'all for everything you give. It's very appreciated and definitely not necessary.
Thank you so much. So yeah, Jim, the disguise plan is underway.
The disguise plan, I've heard it's underway.
Yes, and what do you think about these JoJo-shaped J's?
Like big lol, I did a big fucking LOL at it because it made me laugh.
If you showed somebody who had the red Part 9 this cover of just like the main character as a J and then some old man with a bowl cut.
And then I guess that's
November Rain?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just funny. I feel like we haven't seen November Rain that much.
I haven't really. He was there when he killed that guy, but
also, I guess the JoJo Day event's gonna happen. I guess they're gonna
in April. They're still advertising that.
They're gonna announce
Steel Ball Run,
SBR, yeah.
And there's also that live action Rohan movie coming out in May.
Yeah, lots of things are happening.
A lot of JoJo stuff is happening.
Things are constantly happening.
Yes.
So, all right, let's talk about the JoJo.
Yes, and we kind of start with like another history of Howler. Where like I really do love how much we're getting. Like not even like Akka. It's more about his family more than him, honestly.
Yeah, it's really cool because we're not only just setting up what he owns, but it's like this historical lineage. It's like this family ownership.
It's about family. And
it also makes you think about how wealth is transferred and how normally wealth is transferred, at least in our great nation of the USA.
Oh, God.
Transferred familially, so money gets carried down, money gets consolidated to a lot of, or I shouldn't say a lot, to a few very lucky families. And when you get born into one of those, it's kind of good.
You kind of get handed everything, and like, and it kind of we've been teased with Akka, where like he's kind of like I guess that rich kid that's just like not really like well versed. He's more the playboy with the wealth.
Yeah, he's taken advantage of his situation where he hasn't needed to like fight for it.
But we've seen a little bit of it that he does have that drive a little bit, but he still just has that playboy.
Yeah, and
style.
Not to get too far ahead, but I like how this chapter goes into like what you do when you think your wealth is in danger is. Yes, shoot a motherfucker. You pull out a gun and you shoot someone.
What would grandfather do? Look at his like portrait and just pull out the friggin' 1911?
Pulls out the Glock. As you said, it begins with
the family, the Howler treasure chest, because the insignia is on the treasure chest, like just like that Pirates of the Caribbean film.
Really hilarious, really really funny. So the whole treasure chest thing, I was like, oh, I wonder if like part of the treasure chest is made out of the stone. Nope, it just has fucking bits of the stone inside of it.
It's also just really funny. They just put like a legit painting in there, like in an open. It's not like hung up, like
completely not protected. Like there are ways to store painting. If you're wealthy, you should know how to store painting.
How much they say it was like 600? He sells it eventually for like
70 million,
60 million.
Like that. I forget the number.
They're just $60 million, just like kind of like thrown like in a chest like that, on top of like vases and medals and jewels.
I hate to bring in the real world in this conversation, but it does kind of remind me of an anecdote that Elon Musk told once, who I hate. We
all hate. We hate
Don't
him
get me wrong.
Folks.
I've hated this guy for a while. Elon Musk has talked back and forth about how wealthy and not wealthy he was growing up. Famously, his father owned a blood emerald mine.
Yeah.
He grew up with immense wealth, and he referred to a story one time when he was a child that when his family would put money into their safe, they had a safe in their house, the kids got to keep whatever money fell on the floor because they literally were like shoving the door shut and money was flying out of the door something out of like a Scrooge McDuck cartoon.
Really?
Literally, that's like, it just reminds me of like, yeah, whatever, we got an expensive painting, just throw it in the box, like
throw it in the chest.
As long as the chest door closes, we're fine.
The singular chest, it doesn't even have to close. As long as it doesn't miss, if you don't miss the shot, like a basketball hoop is over, we just don't see it.
Not only is there it's a Tin Toretto. Sorry if my pronunciation is wrong. Painting, but there's also some jewels, precious metals, Etruscan era Italian vases.
I was thinking it's like grandfather's jewel. Don't touch it. It'll give you.
Don't touch it, Aka.
Your fortune will go away if you touch this jewel.
And some Murano antique glazes, which I'm assuming are probably some Italian or specialty make. Etruscans were like be around Italy area because the Etruscans were like destroyed by Rome. They were like famously one of the victims of Rome's conquests. Okay. So yeah, that's an ancient. We're talking like that those pots are like, or is it pots or vases? Those Italian vases are like certified ancient. Yeah, there's a lot of money in here.
But you said they also have, eventually let them go and turn them all into cash and all that stuff. Because you talk about the first generation of the family where they always basically fought for the land. Like a wildfire came in there and it really messed up their business, and basically it's why they had to do these deals, take loans out.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because we see, I don't know, there's kind of this like Italian rancher aesthetic that we're seeing kind of come up again, and this is like this is in 1967 when that wildfire happened. Yeah. And they had like cattle farms. So I don't really pretend to understand how Hawaii works, but I mean, I would assume that it would make sense to have cattle grown like within the state, so that you could easily,
you don't have to keep importing
beef. I would assume it would be very expensive to continually do that. But so did we get the grandfather's name? I forget. God damn it. Not Mo.
They had the guy who tried to rip him off. I'm not sure if they say his name or not.
So we can just call him Howler Senior.
Grandpa Howler.
Great-grandfather Howler.
I do love this man, what's his name? Monte Bruto. And this panel that he's drawn on, like, it's not just him walking. He's like jumping down from like the one panel down to the one below it.
He kind of does. It's hysterical that he's like. So this takes place in the 60s, and this man looks like he's fucking, I don't know, he looks like he's out of like a 40s gangster film or something with his big cloak. Also, okay, not to jump too far out of nowhere, but I have to say I watched The Godfather since last month, and I have to say I felt like an idiot watching The Godfather because I was like, oh, this is why part 5 is all about drugs. Because that's the fucking plot of The Godfather.
Yeah, it literally is.
I didn't know. The only thing I knew about The Godfather was
the Family Guy thing.
Well, no, there's a horse head. There's a horse head in here. Well, I guess. And then also leave the gun, take the cannoli.
I forgot to say, and look how they massacred my boy.
I have heard of that too.
So the insist upon herself. Seth MacFarlane came out recently and said, I based that joke off of something my film teacher said, based off the Sound of Music, which is notably one of his favorite musicals ever. Funny. He said that Sound of Music insisted upon himself.
It insists upon itself is such a hilarious. We can't talk about this, but it is. I mean, like, Family Guy sucks. Like, everyone hates Family Guy, but that's a win.
Just like a lot of long running comedies, they do have some good
Broken
jokes
Clock
in there.
And I think that was an older one too. I can't remember.
It was like it wasn't like original, but it was like,
it wasn't like the pre-cancellation golden era. If you want to call it that.
It was the episode when they locked themselves in a safe room because they have robbers break.
But it's not the one where Brian and Stewie are in a safe room. That's a different.
No, that's the one they talks about like killing himself.
Yeah, Brian talks like Stewie's like, oh my god, Brian.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, don't kill yourself, Brian.
Don't kill yourself, Brian. I love you, Brian.
Okay,
what
sorry.
the deuce?
So we get this funny little character,
speaking of
Monte Bruto, who is apparently a state representative of Hawaii. Mm-hmm. Homeboy wants to. It seems like this is a thing that's come up before. They're trying to eminent domain the land because they want the water source.
Yeah, he said he had the land from like a verbal agreement.
Yeah, so that's what we saw the initial. I think it was 6 generations ago. The one that the Italian ancestor that shipwrecked in Hawaii. He has like the claim to it, but you could say that like. Well, technically, the United States just fucking took everything over anyway, so they can just say no.
Yeah, and they told me that I could have it.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, if you think about the situation, if it weren't, like, a fucking Italian foreigner doing this, I would say it's kind of a W of being like, hey, we stood up for what was ours and we fought the US government and kept our land, but it's a fucking like foreign Italian family that took over, so it's like doubly shitty. It's not even like the initial. I mean, you could say that he married into the family, into the native Hawaiian family.
Okay, so I guess in that time when Hawaii itself becomes an official state, everybody in that state automatically becomes an American citizen.
I think that's how it works. I mean,
if you don't like it, get the fuck out.
So I think
that's what they said to them.
I think they say the year. I don't really know too much about the annexation of Hawaii, which was done it says 1898 here. But I have to say, like, America has not had a very strong history of welcoming the native people that live there.
Oh yeah. Famously,
even up until like deep within the, well, I shouldn't say deep, it's still kind of early, but like even in the early 1800s, there were still like in like Native American relocation projects. And I don't know exactly. I'm sure the citizenship was not equal for them. This is way too deep of a conversation for this JoJo's podcast.
I also I guess we're not knowledgeable enough in like the Hawaii big section of that history. Like we hear a lot. We have a lot more Native American like history and all that stuff. Also,
the 14th Amendment didn't exist then, but the 14th Amendment would have existed now. So, and by now I mean 1886. So that, I guess, I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if that would like retroactively get legal. Where are my constitutional scholars? Come in. I guess that would grant the people of Hawaii American citizenship by like a default, by like a loophole, but I don't know.
There's always a loophole.
Probably not. I would err on the side of they probably had to fight harder to get American citizenship.
Yeah,
but I don't know, and I should look into this history. There's probably a lot of interesting things here. But that's not important at all, because we're talking about a wealthy Italian man.
I do love this man's close-up he draws of this man's face to like, really I don't know. I even can show you that he is just like, not a good guy face. Like, oh, he's kind of a scumbag, but he's like, he does your ancestor was truly a great man, but the water source belonged to the Republic. To the Republic. To the Republic.
I mean, it is a republic.
For the Republic.
It is interesting how they're defaulting on this, like water source. Like clearly there's other
there's always alternatives.
But like this is the one that they were trying to really squeeze
out
with.
And how if we ever got out to the public. Oh yeah, the water source should be for the public. We shouldn't have to like pay this family for their a source for living.
Even to like transport it. I do think it's hilarious though that like they're making me like root for Howler and his family here, because like my disdain for Howler is less right now than my disdain for the government trying to do what it's doing to him, because like it is kind of fucked up. Like he does own that land.
Well, a lot of people right now, it's very easy to root against the government.
That's true. I mean, I would say even historically, it's quite easy to root against the U.S. government, and not even like ancient.
Hey man, we got booed in Canada in a hockey game. It's great. It's hilarious. I love it.
But so
we get like basically the assassination of that man that tried.
Yeah, I think it even says like he didn't even want the water. He wanted to like develop a resort there, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get
it's crazy.
Once again, I do have to say this feels a little Godfather-y, this scene. I love the little assassination, but it's hilariously carried out by the man himself, which seems like a very foolish not to sound like, I mean, obviously DNA evidence wasn't really a thing then, or like photography, but it was 1967. Like you're getting pretty close to it being pretty easy to catch you.
Also, don't forget, he's also incredibly wealthy.
Yeah, well, at the time, was he super duper wealthy? I'm not exactly sure.
He probably still had power.
No, they had the fucking chest of money. No, they were good. They had the big fucking chest of painting.
But I don't know. I just really love it. It's so brutal. Like he's like it's just great. I just love him talking to like the driver. He's like, I'm sorry. I know you just had to be the driver, but I can't leave a witness, man. It's just, I don't know. I just really just. Rocky definitely has been watching his mob shows, mob movies.
He loves it. You can tell he loves mafia shit.
Yeah.
This feels very mafia shit. I also really enjoy how it sets the characters up. It sets up Howler and his family as being just so ruthless. Like, it's not surprising at all when he pulls a gun out later in the chapter, because we've seen what his parents and grandparents have done to protect their shit.
Well, and also, like, he did the, come over here, I tell you, kill people when they get in your way. That's the way to live.
You have to drown every person, every poor person.
In this lava rock, you have to touch it.
I do really love this kind of like older grandfather. We still don't have a name for this guy, I don't think. But I love this.
What is it, old man?
I love this old man scene where like, I don't know, there's a special connection that grandparents and grandchildren have that like it's very different from like a father-son parent relationship.
Because like, a lot of time their advice you get very young, and like you know, a lot of people don't have that, like, you know, any of those key pieces of advice you get from them you kind of keep hold to, because
and like with a grandparent it's different. There's a lot less stress in the situation, but there's a lot more to give oftentimes, or like I think with advanced age, you're just like, oh, I want to give everything to this. I'm going to spoil the baby. Yeah. And that's what he's doing here. He's basically giving him so much attention and love, which it's funny. So like, I'll get to it later, but like, I'm thinking a lot about like, rich families lately and like the wealthy, hyper wealthy. And it's interesting to see like a happy relationship between family members. Normally part of that in fiction, rich families have horrible relationships. It's normally like everyone hates each other.
What's that show you like?
Succession.
Yes.
Succession, yeah. I was going to bring Succession up a bit later.
We brought it up like the past like 3 episodes.
Well, the fact that they're on a boat, I feel like Iraqi watched Succession. Because like there's several episodes on a yacht.
You probably looked up a lot of yacht photos because some of them are just insane. But I do like his, as I said, I love his little lesson to him. Just like, you know, this is a piece of paper, but like, you know, we're going to be in an world of information that can be stored on computers and everything. Like, You gotta like keep everything, and I do like you gotta keep the family business in tow, and
specifically the slope. He's like, you must keep this northern slope.
Yeah,
like,
and I do like and you keep precious things to you in that box. Like, so even now it could not, Howler's box could just be whatever precious to him that we find out later, like what that truly is.
Ironically, it could be nothing. There could be nothing in there. He could just be waiting for stuff to come back.
Or he finds nothing precious. Like, that's just how he is. He doesn't find any, he lives a life of luxury, but has no pleasure in it.
You could say that's pretty apt, because in a way, a lot of his current wealth is just reliant on, like, collateral with bank loans.
Yeah.
That's where, apparently, like, I don't understand wealth. I won't pretend to. But the way that I'm getting the story is that he's basically getting a lot of money just from having, like, property value, high property valuations. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Iraqi who listens to this podcast, let me know how wrong I am.
And we learned that was in the bottom of the box was like a very, I guess beat up lava rock that was like been corroding for like
so it brings up this really fun idea that apparently with excessive use the rock itself breaks, and that's, I guess, what we're seeing in the current timeline. We'll get to it, but so yeah, I like that as a child too, little Akka is playing with the stones. But yeah, no, it's the dad the grandfather even knows, like, he knows that it's important.
And of course he has to say, I found it, in a mountain, somewhere in the mountains of the gods, another, Wall's eyes, it eventually feels like that. We're like...
So it's interesting, this thing comes up twice, otherwise I wouldn't really mention it. So the grandfather says, there's nothing in this world that lasts forever, but don't let anybody say otherwise. So the whole idea, and then he brings that up again, whole idea up again when... so he says that before when he's talking about the slope, and like, the Howler family was on the slope always. Then he mentions that same line again when he's talking about the lava rock, even though it's deteriorating here. So it's kind of interesting. He says nothing in this world lasts forever, and there's nothing else out there like it, referring to the stone.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's really bringing this idea that like Howler is going to lose everything. Like, there is an impermanence to the wealth and the lifestyle that he's been granted.
Yeah. I mean, it could be leading to like him getting a lava rock, and this what happens when two things of wealth are trying to go at.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really fun idea I've had since the beginning, like when there's two, because famously JoJo just fucking destroys
the one.
It does bring a few things to mind of like, when does the rock stop working? Because here it's in pieces.
What causes it to corrode? Like, do they keep it locked up to like reduce it, or if you're like constantly moving it and like use it, I guess officially using it, like Dragona is also just carrying it around, like
maybe not the most protected,
just under the giant, like the giant like I guess weakness sign. Like, if you just like remove this is obviously where I'm hiding. It's not like Hermes, hiding ability.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like Dragona could have the Hermes like boob pocket.
Oh yeah, I definitely think so. I think that even Dragona's too afraid to do something that disgusting.
Hey man, but yeah, I do love. I think we finally board the boat. I just love Aka Howler just standing there.
He's so good. He's so fucking good.
And they're Dragona and Jody are gonna be called Pink and Noir. They have their Phantom Thieves names.
Yeah, I like that Jody was called Noir. It feels really random. I mean, obviously Noir means black.
Black and pink,
black and
obviously. Pink. I understand.
Which could be a veiled music reference to the K-pop group Blackpink, but probably not.
I mean, we only had one Japan musician band.
Two, I believe.
Chocolate Disco.
Wikapipo and Chocolate Disco, which I believe are the same
thing.
Same, the
band and song.
I think so. I think it's no. Chocolate Disco is different. Wikapipo is a different band. I'm pretty sure.
But
that's a band name.
Yeah, because Chocolate Disco is a
Chocolate Disco. It's a very good song.
But so yeah, and they basically come to
I don't think there's been any Korean references so far.
I don't think so.
Any K-pop, especially. All right, so Black and Pink, by the only Koreans ever.
I do like oh yeah, so that her being attacked at the school probably means they're looking for who shot
Mr. Burns.
Who shot Mr. Burns and stole the daughter and stole Maggie. I think she's more Lisa. No,
Little did they know, Maggie was the shooter.
So yeah, they're not looking for the bank employees. They're just looking for who did the murder. And so yeah, so they're gonna stick with the plan while they go back. Yeah, because Paco and Usagi are both going back. I thought it was gonna just be Paco, but they are both going back there.
Yeah, damn. I really thought we were gonna get more. I didn't even realize that until doing this recap that we didn't get any more with them this chapter.
Only that those two are definitely going back there together.
Yeah, poor Meryl.
Which I'm excited to see that, but I'm also super. I just love this super tense discussion.
No, I loved this chapter. I thought this chapter was so much fun, but in hindsight, I'm like, no, I want to see Paco.
But I just
I want to see Paco die.
He's be fine. He can't kill people off until near the end when he's oh yeah, and you start killing people off.
I don't know. Remember when they killed Fugo?
No, he walked away.
Remember when they killed
Bruno, technically.
Well, yeah, it took a long time though. Remember when they killed?
He got better, they got worse.
Abdul. Oh, damn it! Another one.
He got better.
All right, here's another one.
He got better then got worse.
Oh no! And he lost his eyesight.
I mean, I guess Caesar died.
He did die, but not early.
And the part for
Danny dies early.
He's a dog. He doesn't fight.
He fought for his life in that.
I mean, Kira kills what's it called? At the halfway point, he kills Harvest Shigeki.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And
that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough of that.
I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So yeah, Fugo's gonna die. All right, so
it's you piece of shit, says Aka Howler. I love the hostility already, and then we see
it's like he knows that he's lost already, and he's just being as much of an asshole as possible.
Oh yeah, he's not happy. But we have Key West. He's like, oh, my lawyer's gonna be joining us, and and his crew, which is 5 Gappies. The same, no one wears the uniform. This is the old school, that World War II photo of the sailor kissing his wife, design.
So not only does Aka Howler own this boat, but he forces
uniform
private. So these are private employees. Forces them to dress like retro American sailors. But
it just looks like Gappy's outfit. I'm one of these could be Gappy undercover. I'm it's too early to have a cameo of an important character like that.
Yeah, Rohan. Yeah, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't give a Rohan cameo.
The shock about Rohan was he wasn't established in the SBR verse. That was the weird part of that one.
True.
And he was just Rohan, which is the weirdest part of that.
Yeah, it just kind of was hey, fuck you. We just do whatever we want to do. All right, so yeah, Key West, which we get confirmation is a female.
Okay, good.
She's Key West.
She's my lawyer. And we get the fame. You ever look up insane yachts that millionaires have?
Oh, not only have I looked them up, but I've lived them. No, I'm kidding. That's why I was thinking of Succession, because there's a very famous scene in Succession where basically, no spoilers, but shit's going down and the whole family's on the yacht and they have to decide who's going to take the fall for it, and it is incredible. The whole scene, the whole episode almost is them just being all right, well, he fucking did this thing. It's like, well, you did that thing. And it's like they're just going over everything. And of course, the yacht looks amazing, and they're in like Greece or wherever.
It's huge, but the funniest thing is like, I see like, oh, this yacht had a basketball course, or like this one had a movie theater. This one has a fucking merry-go-round, which is weird. Like
the merry-go-round is really weird.
It's really sketch. This is like something that Michael Jackson would have in like the Wonderland estate.
So like, what's the deal with this merry-go-round? Like.
I don't know. Maybe like,
what's the deal with this?
We also learned he didn't have much of a childhood. This is like
he doesn't seem to have kids. I mean, this would imply to me that there are kids around.
Some weird childhood trauma. Like I didn't get to live in my childhood. Like the Michael Jackson thing I say, where like this is like him. That's it. Maybe it's taking inspiration from the Neverland Ranch and just having these weird things that adults don't have, but you obviously know they had a bad childhood.
This could also be like a sly hint that Howler does have a kid or kids, and we don't know yet.
And we're gonna kill him off, so the kid takes revenge against Aka Howler, because despite how he looks like 20 years old, he's gonna find out. Oh no, he's actually like 40.
He did make a comment about how people think he looks young, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was older. Wait, do we get an age? I thought we got an age.
Probably. It was many months ago they said that.
Many months ago. But so, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a kid and then JoJo has to like kidnap the kid. I wouldn't be surprised.
Are we gonna do a hostage arc?
Because like...
or JoJo and like, the gang have to do... Or like the wet bandits and like Aka Kid is like... It's like, the Macaulay Culkin character.
Because like, think about it. What could be more important to Howler than his land? Like, things need to escalate. I don't think anything could be more important than a kid.
He is 42.
So yeah, he's well within kid having age.
I do like that he put his signature on the wiki.
You could even say he has an older kid, but I think it would be more effective if he had like an 8 or 9-year-old. I feel like that's kidnappable age.
Kidnappable age?
Because I mean, like, ultimately, I think that we're going to get into a situation where The Rock is going to be deciding the value of human lives. That's kind of that's like my dark fan theory of like, the human life of Aka's son or daughter will be considered of value in the calculus that The Rock does. That's my fan theory. You heard it here first, folks.
It'd be very funny. Lu Chan was like the child, but she just hated him so much she wanted to be adopted by like
anyone else's kid.
Yeah, just like anybody else adopt me.
Oh, I miss that guy.
I mean, she's
still alive.
She's somewhere in the back rooms of either the fashion thing, or she's gonna walk in. Maybe she's going to school there now, and she's gonna help her out. It'd be funny if she enrolled in school.
One thing too, and I want to bring this up. So, Dragonas says that
Dragonas also wants to ride the merry-go-round.
Dragona does really want to ride the merry-go-round, but Dragonas says that his last name in this chapter is Nagasaki.
I mean, it's just a fake last name.
But it makes me think like, so that I'm pretty sure Nagasaki is also a port city.
Yes.
And it makes me think like, where is that thought process coming from? Because obviously Yokohama is, and they were with Yokohama. But the whole thing with like Key West and the other two whose names I forget. I think one is a Korean.
One's
like Thailand,
and then one's like Singapore or China,
something like that. They are all port cities. So, like, why did Dragona choose a port city, which I believe Nagasaki is? I might be wrong.
Maybe because she is of what's it called, Asian, has some Asian descent in her, Japanese descent in her. So maybe she like, oh, I look, Asian, so I may as well go with like,
I'm Johnny Orlando. Like, that's so silly.
I'm Dragona Joestar.
Like, just being like, I'm American. I'm a white guy. I'm American. I'm Derek Dallas.
Although you just say Joestar, and you look into their history, oh, you're a descendant of that famous horse racer that won that big race that killed the president of the United States.
Well, allegedly,
and then went to Japan and got crushed by a giant rock.
If people barely know who Johnny Joestar is.
Yeah, the statue, though.
Yeah, but they don't care about it. There's like some crazy old kook that was talking about it.
Yeah, the president just died in Jersey.
He did. He just died. He just fucking died like a dog.
He died like a bitch.
He died like a dog. All right. So...
I also do love like, oh, you must be very smart. What university did you go to? Like Harvard, and they're all like, why would you say Harvard?
This is awesome for many reasons. Because first off, Dragona is like 19.
Dragona, yeah, but like Dragona
is like a fucking teenager.
Dragona has to brag though. Like you can't just say like an unknown school or like say I don't know. You say Rutgers is from New Jersey or like.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, yeah, Harvard is like such a stereotypical like the hardest school to get into.
Or literally say, like the University of Hawaii. Or like, just say there's literally anywhere else. You don't say the biggest one. Like, oh, Harvard, I went there. How's the teacher doing?
But, so, okay, do we think that Key West is being for real right now? Because I think maybe Key West did go to Harvard, but I feel like that is such an easy lie to catch Dragona in that I thought it was kind of like a gimme. Like, Dragona got let off easy by not having to answer this because I think it was a fuck you either way.
I wish he said Professor Heisenberg instead of Herzberg.
It's crazy Rocky didn't say that. Honestly, it's crazy.
Also,
he didn't say that.
She doesn't notice it. He just pulls the gun out like immediately.
Key West is probably just like this fucking guy, like because Key West is the lawyer, right?
Lawyer, but like remember he didn't really know who she was when she first like helped him out when he was like swarmed by media. So like
yeah, he was just like, who are you?
Yeah, or was he like the lawyer like hired by because like maybe he has a family member like his father's still alive.
Yes, it's very possible.
His father hired her
pulling the strings, sort of
to help make sure he doesn't do anything stupid like pull a gun out at a
Which also just makes me think of Succession a lot, of like the adult children in Succession are like so stupid that the father is often doing things like that, forcing his hand for their own good, but they of course are not seeing it that way.
And you know what I love about this whole thing about he has the guy threatening to do this discussion and everything, and I just love it. You don't really keep in mind that this is Charming Man, and Charming Man is just like the coolest headed
so
person.
Good.
He is amazing. I love it. He's so good.
Not only is he like making these crazy big swings, he's so confident. Like I love the whole, in hindsight, the scene where he was, pretending to be Yokohama, and presumably for, a day or two.
Talk to his wife. That's the only time he almost broke because he didn't know anything about this wife.
He couldn't have predicted his wife was, a fucking weirdo.
A freak, a sex pervert.
Sex pervert. But so, yeah, no, I love him in this scene. He's just so... he's so cool. Charming Man is just the coolest.
Yeah. And then he orders Gappies to bring in a bunch of money.
Literal comical amount.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least 6 briefcases. 7 briefcases. But the one on the table are they look so big.
It looks so silly. They just look really fucking silly. So yeah. Oh, also they have a whole exchange about Howler's gun, and Howler is saying. And he kind of flips it on them where he's like, I don't need this. This is for you. I don't need this.
This is your safety.
It's like, Howler, you're the guy fucking brandishing a gun and
gun owner 101.
Yeah, he's Howler's being really immature in this, which I think is awesome. I love how immature Howler is. And also to think that he could just buy out bank employees,
not even just him, and your subordinates will each get split up between all of them.
Which is so, just think about so JoJo is a gopher here. If you've seen Breaking Bad, you'd know that whenever you're dealing with multiple people like that, there's going to be some idiot shithead punk who is going to blab the second
young hothead.
Yeah, the second that the cops get him, he's going to blab. It's so dumb for him to do this. Also,
or you get caught by they go out and they party or spend.
Yeah, or
too
just
much.
being an idiot. And they would trace it immediately. He kind of does say oh, if you got caught, it would just be a light prison sentence. But still, I have to say so Yokohama is someone that works for a bank somewhere high up. He says I don't know what your salary is, but maybe this is enough to. I feel there must be contingencies for this kind of thing.
He's take the money, screw the bank over. We can be best friends and we can hang out on a yacht and drink champagne all day.
You'd have to be so dumb if you're someone like Yokohama to take a deal like this from an idiot like this guy. You know what I mean? There must be incredible retaliation for engaging in this kind of behavior, for taking all that money.
He even says you'll probably get busted, but it will probably be a light sentence. So
no, it wouldn't. I'm sure they would rescind all of it because it's all legal funds. It's very funny, very, very funny how stupid Howler's being here. Because ultimately and JoJo says this too, well, he says this internally. He says oh wow, it's I think a total of 20 million? How much is he bribing them?
It's going to be 120 million total.
Okay, but that's
40 million each.
Compared to $30 billion. That is a drop in the bucket inside a fucking like swimming pool.
He's like, I'm gonna you will yourself will get a fortune, but like I'll make out like a bandit if you take it out.
Yeah, like this is a big Hail Mary for him because this plan, especially going up against a bank guy, seems to be incredibly fucking stupid.
He never fight the bank. But no,
he even puts the gun up to his head. Like Howler is fucking unhinged.
But everybody's so calm too. I don't know. I just love this because like the last time you really had like the battle. I guess this last time in JoJo you really had like, a talk off. I guess, and I guess like the Darby fight is kind of like a battle of like just trying to make somebody break. Mm-hmm. But like
the cool thing is that the only stand that's active here is Charming Man. Like, I guess this isn't really like a stand battle at the moment.
I guess like Lucy talking to like the vice, the first lady has like just a talk.
Yeah, it's actually probably the closest in comparison to like the fact that Lucy's not a stand user at all, but and
she did talk to Funny as well.
The Funny coming in, Funny. I don't remember him doing anything being intimidating there. Maybe he kidnapped her.
I mean, he was being very creepy.
He was being incredibly creepy. As long with his wife. His wife is being incredibly creepy and molesty too.
I love the talks.
But yeah, I just love that there's only one stand active in this fight, and it's Charming Man. It's like this isn't even a stand battle.
No,
which is so cool.
Like I said, he had the gun because he doesn't think this guy has a stand. He's not he didn't know like a Charming Man or these two young kids would have a stand. Like he has to use a gun to intimidate and not his own stand, whatever it does, whenever we find that out.
Yeah,
or Key West.
That's a good point because like a stand user could show their stand and it'd be a threat, but a normal human wouldn't be able to see it. So
because remember that's what they did. Oh, that was a big thing earlier. Like, oh, I'll try to punch you with my stand to see if you're like this sus, and we'll know if you're a stand user. But like in part 4, did that with the alien, and he didn't react. So.
Classic Mikitaka.
But yes, and I just love Charming Man does like the turnabout where like he literally leans into the gun. I love he's so good.
He's the best character there is.
That's my main character.
Even Jodio thinks like if we were real bank employees we might have gone along with the bribe, but we're going for everything he's got.
We're going for much more.
Jodio handing him like the paperwork to sign is so cool too.
Yeah, he basically says like this is your best case scenario to get out with like as much as you can.
Yeah, he really Charming Man really like uses the illegal arms manufacturing as like that's like the big point that he's like lying on here is like you are like fucked. Like even if this isn't true, like the fact that you're being suspected means that it's probably true.
He's like, we will take the North Slope's gonna go to us, and like the land goes to your company.
So yeah, that's his counteroffer is that they want to trade, which is kind of brilliant actually. That this is how they're doing it. Like not instead of just completely taking the land, which apparently going by Yokohama's first appearance, the bank has every right to just rescind all of the loans or wherever they've given to Howler and take the land.
And it also says like, oh, if you don't like, say yes to us, the government's going to come into it in a day or two. Like,
yeah, he's really putting the pressure on.
Like, if you want to deal with the U.S. government, that's all on you, my man.
So my understanding here is that he's basically trading him some worthless land, but not worthless. It's worthless to our characters, for the special North Slope land. So I think it's what do they say? Alua? I can't remember.
He says what's it called? The Oahu.
Oahu land. Okay, so yeah, our guys are trying to give the Oahu land, which I guess the bank also owns. It's sort of like just a land trade. Like they're not even considering monetary. Like they're not considering how much money the value is here. They're literally just saying like, "Yo, we will do this for you. This will get you off the hook. Look, it's nice land. You could even have a house, or you could even use it for farmland."
And I love how much Howler is breaking. Like he is sweating like crazy. I just love that. Like everybody is saying calm except for him.
It's so cool because like this is our villain. Like we've seen Howler on the back foot more than we've seen him succeed, which is awesome because you know that he's going to get the upper hand
at some point,
and he's going to be fucking scary, and it's going to be really fun. So I love seeing him fail now.
I like
seeing you root for him.
I like seeing my villain lose. I think people love Kira because he gets it loses super hard.
Yeah, Kira
then starts winning, and then he gets it really fucking hard.
Because like loses. You start rooting for him. Like I'm kind of rooting for Howler here because I'm like, oh my god, he noticed the fucking rock because that's the big turn here
these
is that
boy failures,
when he
guy failures,
boy failure, right as he is basically like completely over a barrel here. He can't do anything else. He notices, oh my gosh, just like when I was a child, the sandy specks of rock dust. Somehow they got all over the fresh money that I put on the table. And he literally is like, I'm putting this conversation on pause. I love that. And I think the last line of the chapter is...
we also get Usagi sends Jody a message saying, hey, we're heading to the principal office. We just arrived at the school now.
Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if almost all of the next chapter cuts to them.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I think the last line is Akka saying, so what was your name again? I'm jumping a bit ahead, but...
So for some reason, the rock is like crumbling a bit inside Dragona's like chest pouch.
Yeah, so interestingly, I kind of like this idea that the rock itself is like breaking toward the item. So it's like, it reminds me of Shakedown Road again, how like...
It's trying to claim it or something
yeah,
like that.
like how Shakedown Road were like actually tiny little stands that were like, they would hide under things and you could barely see them. It almost feels like the rock has like something similar, but it's like breaking, trying to grab things.
It was why they at the bottom of that treasure chest too, where it's like, okay, it's gonna keep going in there, so we'll just keep it in there with everything else. So it stays with us. That's why we have our logo on it, so it comes to us.
That's actually a really good point. The logo thing is a good point. Same with Dragona has the D logo. But this is the first time always in a D logo.
Yeah, but this is the first time everybody kind of breaks on the good guy side or starts to sweat. And he points the gun back at them. So I'm so interested to see how they get out of this situation. Like, there's a gun in play.
One thing that's really cool, too, is, like, so our characters have stands, but, like, these aren't, like, part 3 stands. They can't just deflect a bullet. Like, if Jotaro was in a fight, in this situation, I'd be like, oh, yes, like, Star Platinum bounces in front of him and deflects
JoJo
it. I don't think any of these guys, maybe...
If he can get his standoff in time.
Yeah, I mean, Jody would be the only one that could.
Charming Man, I think, could dodge a bullet with his stand.
Maybe, but when it's pointed to his head, I think for me the stakes are high enough that it feels exciting. If
Dragona's not like killed on the first shot, they can get it like out of them with smooth operators. But yeah, no, like you can't just like stand. And we know
you can't punch Ghost a bullet away.
And we also know these two have stand, and who knows if the other sailors on his ship could also have stand for all we know.
It could be.
Go to this location and put on this sailor suit, and then come back, and you survive. You're
or it could be Gappy. We could have a little Gappy on board.
Yeah, but what would he want though? That's curious to be like, what does he have to live for now?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have an answer for that.
Yeah. But no, I love this chapter. I love like a zero stand, just like not even like a plot dump. It's just like a literal like battle of negotiation, like an undercover bit.
We have character building. We have like character, like I don't know, there's great character moments. Like we learned so much about Howler in this chapter just from the way he acts.
Yeah, even the family history. I love like learning. Oh, he learned from his grandfather. This is why who he is today by his like mindset.
And it does set his father up as a mysterious figure because the fact that we haven't seen his father yet. He's
the Harry Osborn to Norman Osborn.
I really could see that happening. I could see him coming up.
But it also reminded me of, like the part 4 where they try to like. Remember when they try to go to the bank to cash in, like winning like a sweepstakes, like that kind of thing, where they kind of have that battle, but they also use their stands to like fuck with the guy.
Oh yeah, that's probably even like closer to like any of the other examples.
They're trying to rip off the bank. They're trying to rip off a highly dangerous like billionaire.
In a way, they're doing good things.
Yeah, they're doing good at being shithead children.
I do like that they're still like really selfish. They're still stealing here. Like, I think that's really fun. It's really fun for the.
See, they're all hot. They're all morally gray. They're not evil. They're just morally gray. But no, that's it. I love part 9, man. It's really so good. Fun, and I hope Araki keeps it up with it. He seems to be having a lot of fun, kind of doing this change up stuff to it. But as long as he doesn't go like end of the part 8 stuff, where he just kind of hits that snag where he doesn't really feel like writing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that we're not just kind of doing like a villain of the week sort of thing.
It could be a short part for all we know too, and like
it could be. I mean, I have the feeling that it was probably going to be a shorter part. Because I feel like Araki's getting up there and he probably just kind of wants to end it. And I know like the whole thing he talked about like planning part 9 years ago. But I like the idea that we're not just being like, all right, we got to fight Key West. All right, we got to fight this guy. I like that all the bad guys are engaged like right now. Like everything's happening right now.
We have a 2 and a 2 and a 3 are split up. The people with 3 on 2 is like in a worse situation because the other 2 have to jump But Usagi's not like a combat fighter, so I don't know how what he's gonna multiply in that fight. Because we always saw like the inflation. We have the nematodes aren't really a combat stand either, so
that we know of. I'm sure they can probably get inside your brain or something horrible. A lot of stands can do that.
Nematode. I don't know. Nematodes solely roll around the glasses, but unless he takes away the glass, he wants a copy of the glasses.
Unless the stand is more general and it's more about controlling like bacteria instead of just controlling
nematodes.
Remember when we looked it up and said nematodes were an animal, or it said nematodes were fungus and they're not. They're an animal. JoJo said nematodes are fungus, but they're not. They're an animal.
Oh, whatever Araki says, it has to be true.
No, it's not. It's wrong.
It's wrong. Araki's never wrong.
All right, are we done?
I guess anything else you have to say or predictions you have for next chapter?
No, I think I got everything out.
I feel like we're gonna get more of the Usagi Paco next chapter.
I hope so.
I feel like he's gonna be switching to focus between the two.
Yeah, really fun.
It'd be very fun if we just get like the backstory to like the other two, like or some of the three henchmen. I wouldn't be
surprised if we see a Paco
this firefighter.
They've kind of been like getting into the idea of Paco getting a flashback. They've
or maybe
talked about his backstory.
Or even a Paco fact, just give it like the one of the weird like the fireman or like the cop get a backstory chapter like
that'd be interesting.
What or why they're working for Howler, why this old like this cop and firefighter just working for him.
I would like to see a scene that has like Howler's dad talking to like these characters. I think that's something.
He's gonna be the Green Goblin. He's gonna look like Willem Dafoe.
All right.
You want to do root beer talk? You can go first because I have a lot of stuff.
I will go first. So root beer talk. I have two things. One, I just watched all of season 1 of Severance.
The Adam Scott show.
The Adam Scott show.
Okay.
And I just started season 2. I really like it. I have some issues with it.
I hear it's good.
It's really cool. I don't want to say anything about it because the premise, I didn't know anything about the premise, and going into it blind, somehow I avoided spoilers. The premise is fantastic, and it's one of those things like the first few episodes, I was, my brain was just kind of like going crazy thinking about the situation. Like
I know the basic plot to it.
The implications, yeah. But so the whole idea, I mean, it's been around for a few years, so it's not really... I guess there
was like a giant gap between the first second season. Yeah. I think so.
I wonder why. I don't really know why.
Ben Stiller and all.
He does direct most of the episodes.
Yeah,
which is funny. But it's pretty well directed. It's pretty good. Some of the humor is a little There's some groaners here and there. There's some MCU humor.
It's not Adam Scott being Parks and Rec. Adam Scott.
No, he's actually pretty grounded. Adam Scott's great though. He's fantastic. Great. I love him. But no, I really, really, really like Severance. I'm gonna keep watching it. I've heard season 2 is really good.
Okay.
My other thing is, speaking of a wealthy family, I've been reading along / watching along to a Let's Play of Umi Neko.
Which one's that?
Umi Neko is a visual novel.
It sounds familiar.
I think the same guy that did Higurashi, if you ever heard of Higurashi.
Okay.
So Umi Neko is the story that has Beatrice the Golden Witch. It's about a family of wealthy Japanese people who, very similar, actually, I have to say, to... part 9.
What's it called again? Umi Neko?
Umi Neko. Okay. And it's basically it's super long. It's apparently longer than the Bible. But because it's split up into
probably more
episodes.
Entertaining.
Essentially, it's about a family of extremely wealthy people.
They look like it. I see the spiral, the drill hair.
Yeah, you have to see the original art. The original art from the 90s game is hysterical. They have done like redraws of it. The original art is so fucking funny. It's so bad. But so it's about this wealthy family who is the eldest of the family, Kinzo, is dying soon, and he's going to bequeath like all of his crazy.
Is this Japanese Succession? What you're telling me?
It's kind of like Japanese Succession. He's going to bequeath all of his money, which is apparently in gold. It's just gold bars that no one's ever seen, but the bank has given him, similar to Part 9, given him humongous loans based on the fact that
tier list.
Someone has seen... There's also a fighting game.
Really?
Apparently.
Now that I can get into.
But so the whole gimmick of it is that apparently Kinzo made a deal with the devil with this witch named Beatrice.
Yeah, I see her.
Yes, Beatrice is the iconic character. To get all of the gold, or to become extremely wealthy.
Has this been adapted to like an anime at all?
Probably. I'm pretty sure it has been. But as a visual novel that I'm not playing, I'm watching a Let's Play. I'm watching Joseph Anderson play, which has been great. He had a voice actor, I think his name Greg Shun, on an episode who plays the main guy in AI Somnium Files.
Oh, I love Somnium Files. So good.
He had him on and he was doing voices with him. It was so funny. But no,
does he know who he voices in Somnium? Was he the voice of Date? Okay,
Date. Yeah,
I love Date. That's so good. I love him.
But no, I'm at chapter 2 right now because that's where the streamer is, at least where I'm watching, and I'm just listening to it kind of like an audiobook, and I am really loving it because it's all about like. Well, first off, it's about like how is the family going to split up the money, and then very quickly it becomes a murder mystery.
There's a board game called 1313 Dead End Drive that is just this plot of kill off the other family members so the inheritance goes to the characters you have.
Oh, that's fun. I've heard of that before. I didn't know that's what the premise of that was.
It's one of those games that was like Mousetrap where you just want to set up the traps that kill people. You have to like roll and then move people to the traps that you want to kill off. So you're moving other people's characters, not your characters. Or you can give away like who's your character and move the characters you want to protect out of the way.
That actually sounds really fun.
I remember it was a very fun game.
But so yeah, I'm basically at chapter 2 right now of the story, or episode 2, I think it's called. I don't want to spoil anything.
I do love this cover of one character with like a gun.
Yeah, I think that's what's her name? Nafumi. I can't remember the names. I'm bad with the names, but
I see Lali. I see.
It's really, really, really cool, and it's something that's crazy.
It's like a weird. Yeah, I would not expect it to be like a battle thing because I just see them have like weapons, like just one with a sight.
Yeah, I don't know where all that shit comes from, but so the main character, the actual main character, is a guy named Battler. The whole gimmick is that everyone in this family was named like European style names, which just means they have like there's Jessica and George and then Battler. I don't know where Battler comes from, but basically what the story kind of becomes is, can Battler solve this mystery? Can Battler solve this big murder mystery that is like way more complicated than it has any right being? And it's kind of becomes like, and where I am at least, it's like a standoff between like him trying to out-logic the witch and being like, all right, so the witch says that magic did this, but I can use human reasoning to deduce how this could actually have happened. It wasn't a magic spell. Like it was a man doing X, Y, and Z.
It's not like a Danganronpa Phoenix Wright visual novel where there's like some kind of like reaction stuff. Okay,
no, it's like a visual novel. Yeah. I think there's some like late puzzles in it, but that's like the way later.
It's not like 999 or
no, it's more of like
a
story.
Okay,
but I'm not even playing it. I'm literally watching a Let's Play of it. It's really, really good. It's very compelling. And I haven't really experienced too many visual novels, just straight up. I have to say, really positive experience so far.
Yeah.
Let me know if the Ume Neko Chads are in the chat listening.
all dozen of them.
There's more than you think. This is the kind of thing that like people get like fucking... You become like an Ume Neko
like a fate bro.
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing where like you devote your whole fucking. That's why there's a fighting game. Like
I'm curious to see what about the fighting game.
I do too, but I don't want to get spoiled because there's apparently deep spoilers in the fighting game.
I think I'll explore if I find it.
I'll check it out later.
But anything else then?
That was. I watched The Godfather. It was a fine movie. I haven't seen the second one yet.
Okay, you should probably watch the second one.
I'll watch it soon.
But okay, did get some quick ones out of the way before I talk about the big thing. But I watched the first 8 episodes of the Spider-Man cartoon that came out.
First 8?
8 episodes are
There's
out.
that many out? I've watched the
3
first
came
2.
out. They dropped like 3 this last week.
I watched the first 2 and I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like the way it looks.
I'm enjoying it more now. I mean, the later one, I found it like the story stuff a lot more interesting.
Well, you didn't like the woke stuff.
About the voice actor of Spider-Man.
You hated the woke character.
Yeah, I can't believe Nico is there and... No, the least woke show. The actor said it's the least woke show.
That's awesome. I love that.
Despite,
it's the least woke show.
But the guy who plays Norman is like great though. Like if they do a live action from the MCU with Norman Osborn, I think he'd probably be great.
I don't think I got far. I saw him in the first episode. I didn't watch all of episode 2. I realized I stopped it.
I'm enjoying a lot of the character stuff in it.
So here's my gripe with it. It's completely visual.
Yes.
Well, first off, I don't think it looks good. Most of the time.
The background characters are very just...
I think that, like, if you're going to commit to a cell-shaded style, you actually have to do the shading. That's the problem with cell-shading.
There's more animation in, like, the, at least, like, when their background, people just talk, 2 characters talking in, like, a hallway, or, like, it's, like, the MTV animated Spider-Man had more people moving around in background.
Because I think it was actually properly cell-shaded.
Yeah.
Whereas, like,
Spectacular Spider-Man.
when I say that this show has no shading, I mean, like, literally, there's no shading on the characters in a way that is almost like it feels unfinished to me.
Yeah.
And they do a thing too where they'll do that like shitty, transparent, like circular shadow under people. Like you can tell that's just like an after effect. It's not like a baked in element or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. To me, I was like, if you're gonna do a show with cell like shading to look like a comic, at least make it look like a comic. I mean, look at you couldn't do a TV version of the Spider-Verse movies, but like look at how they replicate like the comic dot, the old color dot style. Yeah. Like they do care about the shading.
There are some characters like they have like a comic book villain appear in there where like, oh, his face looks exactly how he looked in like those original 70 comic books where he looks like the 60s Spider-Man face. That's really funny. Like it looks like that. Like, oh, I know who that is because that face is like so synonymous of like that style and that character. I'm like, wow. I
think some of the designs work well. I think Norman's
great.
Goofy hair works really, really well in this version, I think.
You ever see the comic panel of like they open like the grave of like Harry Osborn and the hair is still there? It's like it being a skeleton.
That's awesome. How could you know? How else would you know it's Harry Osborn? You need the hair.
How you know he's dead?
Yeah. That's hysterical.
The guy who voiced him is great. Like some of the characters that appear in there are like very, I think it's interesting. They did the young hot versus Tomei Aunt May again, which is funny.
She's even fucking younger and hotter. They need to cool their jet. Uncle Ben's right out of grad school.
Uncle Ben died before Peter became Spider-Man.
I like that. Also, I don't know. Part of me is like. So this is the MCU, right? It's
separate. Okay, so they do think there are adjacent stuff that happen in MCU.
Well, I know it's not in the MCU. No.
But it's like, some MCU events do happen. But some characters appear from the MCU, but they have their like 60s, 70s aesthetic. Like Iron Man has like his retro Iron Man and like a picture in like another scene, and then Doctor Strange is like that classic Doctor Strange look.
Yeah, I remember Doctor Strange showing up. I wasn't super.
And there's some other characters that pop up but you haven't seen yet in the last 3 episodes, but.
Yeah, I want to go back and watch the MTV one.
But I think it's fine because I'm enjoying the story, the character stuff in there. Is in the episode are just 30 minutes that are just easily digestible. It's not like I feel like with Invincible where I have to like I'll watch an episode a day to watch an hour-long episode.
Oh, dude,
which I'm enjoying it. I haven't watched the most recent episode, but because I was away for my last thing for like the weekend.
Invincible is fucking good lately.
Yeah, I watched the first 3 episodes. I haven't watched episode 4.
I think they're really doing a good job with the way that they're adapting it.
I like it. I said we love Eve here.
Eve is and so
Rex.
good.
Rex and Eve are like my favorites.
Rex is so good. I mean, they're just like. I think I have an idea of where the season's going to end, and I'm like really
you read the comics.
Excited. Yeah, I've only read Invincible, so there's some tie-in stuff. Like, the scene, so Invincible Season 2, spoilers for the beginning, one of the first episodes, the flashback with, what's his face? Cecil, when he was like a young man, when he got his like scarring.
Yeah, that was the new season.
Yeah, the new season. Yeah, Season 3. Season 3, goddammit.
Yeah.
So spoiler warning, the wrong season.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's from another comic. It's not from Invincible, but it might be original. It might be... There have been a couple other like Invincible tie-in spin-off comics that they might have.
The only thing I can say, I'm not sure it's supposed to be. I really don't like his little brother that he has.
Oliver?
Yeah. Unless I'm supposed to change how I'm supposed to feel, but like, God, I hate children characters. But he's voiced by the kid who played what was that show on Netflix with the kid with the antlers?
Sweet Tooth?
Yes.
I never saw it.
The child from Sweet Tooth is voicing the brother.
He is a really good kid actor, I think. I'm actually with kid actors, you're kind of grading on a curve. I think he does a pretty good job as a voice actor.
Yeah, it's just the character. I hate that child archetype. It's a very archetype for that character's kid sidekick.
I love that he's Kid Omni-Man. I love that he doesn't see a problem with that. He's like, but Dad is great. Like, what's wrong with Dad?
Oh, God. But I guess the main thing I want to talk about this weekend, I went to Katsukon in National Harbor. Same location as MagFest, which is probably the more
normally like
know.
2 weeks before. It's always like before.
It's like the end of January is MagFest, and then Valentine's Day weekend is like Katsukon.
It's always. I always remember seeing like there's a few cosplayers I follow on the Insta, and I always see them, and I'm like, Katsukon. I'm like, oh no, it's MagFest.
Yeah, I want to go to MagFest for a day of some point. A lot of people I follow. Yeah, I'm going to do it for a day.
Seems cooler. And in a way, okay, I didn't want to like shit on you.
No.
MagFest seems like it gets more like big names.
Yeah, it definitely does. It is more gaming, and it probably will be better, but I'm pretty sure it's like more the party one, which I'm not really...
If it's even more crowded than Katsukon, I can't even imagine.
Katsukon, it didn't feel that bad compared to I feel it got like better this year with the BY, but the con itself, okay.
So who'd you cosplay?
Well, I went Smoke, and I did Nero from Devil May Cry. My Smoke cosplay was my new one, and actually went over pretty well. A lot of people said, like, a lot of people, like, you know, said it was really cool. Got some pictures. So,
did you get any photos? Do you have any photos that I can see?
Yes. And
show me later.
I took one. It was like a fighting game, like meetup that we got.
Oh yeah.
My sister also cosplayed Katana, so we kind of had like a duo going.
Oh, what else did she do?
She did a rogue. She did rogue, Sailor Mars, and Katana were like her, and Mitsuru.
Oh yeah.
Those were her main ones. I think that's for my Katsukon pictures.
I was like, oh yeah, duh. Your sister fucking loves Persona.
Oh, yeah, here it is. So. My MK1 Smoke cosplay came out pretty well.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. I said the fighting game meetup, I had a guy who was cosplaying King from Tekken came over like fist bump, like, yo, your cosplay is sick, man. I'm like, man, that's my favorite. That's my Tekken main right there. Said, good job. But Thursday went down, checked in, really, had a nice time at the night because nothing. Thursday's kind of day zero. Everybody kind of hangs out. So the gazebo, which is like the famous venue spot, everybody was like kind of partying there, and like the people, I call it a hate circle because they were playing Not Like Us on a speaker, everybody just singing and dancing to Calling Drake. My sister recorded like that whole part of like Certified Lover Boy part, and it was like amazing. And drank that night. It was really fun. Okay, Friday, that's how I did the Mortal Kombat one. Nice fun day. But during that day in the artist alley, a pipe burst that was apparently dripping since MagFest, apparently.
Really?
And it bursted, and some poor artist had, apparently they said it was black water from the kitchen of the convention. Burst it, some people got their stuff missed out. People had to get like stuff thrown away in a biohazard waste. Because people that it stenched horribly, and then didn't even open until like noon or 12:30 the next day, because they had to clean it out and move people's
So it happened during the show, right?
It happened like the last hour of Artist Alley being open. It's on video, so if you just search, it made the local news.
I saw it on Instagram. That's why I sent.
I was like, I was gonna wait for the.
I saw that and sent it to Sam. I was like, oh my fucking god, did you see this?
I was like, yeah, it's kind of a legend. So
that's horrible. And like, I don't know what artist was affected. But
everybody felt sorry for them. A lot of people moved, but a lot of people did come out of their way to help move their shit as fast as possible to save all out of their stuff.
In the video that I saw of like the actual pipe, like not bursting, but it was like footage
flowing
of it happening. So many people in the comments were like, who is the artist? Like immediately people were like, we must donate money to this person.
Yeah,
I'm hopeful that person,
like I said, a lot of the people,
donations.
The tenants came out of their way to help move all their stuff as much as they could to get them out of the way. But yeah, people said the stench was horrible.
That's awful. I just hope that no one had like anything. Like, I hope no one had like plush stuff that they were trying to sell.
I'm trying to say there were a couple of like stands like that. It was like because we went there into the next day, and a lot of stuff got moved to the front of it around like the art show, but that whole area was like all tables and everything.
Yeah,
and there were some people selling like little. They were like. They call them cat body pillows, so like little small little cushion body pillows of like Karlak and Shadowheart. And you get, I love that, but yeah, we were really worried. Like, because one of the things my sister wanted to get got moved because it was kind of close by. I don't think it got affected, but they had to move because she got like they were selling band-aids of Jack Frost from Persona and SMT. So, but luckily we found those. But yeah, it was fucking cursed. And then Friday. Pretty fun. I had a little bit of a headache that night, so I kind of, didn't really drink it or anything. And so, and also during this, the parking at the convention, the lots. So you go in there, tell you a price, and then apparently they just shadow increase the price of it. And my sister was like, "What the fuck?" I took a picture of the price of it, and they changed the price, and they didn't help at all when she asked about that. So that was another thing they did. They try to screw over everybody with the parking, and the garages had tons of spot, and because they just closed off the garages to people. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what other crazy shit happened. What's called Saturday was kind of like same thing. Walking around, stopped by a couple the events. The game room was kind of cool. Yeah, let's see. Another crazy thing was we actually left on Sunday, and apparently a tree fell on the highway, so a lot of people couldn't get out of there.
Dude, curse Katsukon. Did they have the little pachinko section?
They had pachinko machines, yes. They were back. They had a bunch of rhythm games. They had a bunch of fighting games. A bunch of pinball machines.
There's always the Toho corner.
Toho corner had a cutout of Picard and like
Picard, like Captain
Picard, and like another Star Trek character.
Why? We're Toho.
And then what's it called? So yeah, our room, because like there was like balconies and everything, but we had like it wasn't a full we didn't even know we got this, but like it was like a half balcony where you open the door, you have a railing right there, so in case you want to look out there. So we had I had a view of like the fountains, so I could watch the JoJo.
That's awesome. Yeah, you had the interior.
I showed you a picture. I sent you a picture of it, and
that's really cool.
But I was watching, I was like, oh, please there be a part. There's no part 9s. There were like 6 wonder reviews.
Sus.
But no, yeah, but there was no part 9, sadly, but there was a lot of cool.
If I saw any part 9s, I would have kissed them.
For JoJo, the most popular cosplay, if you had to guess, what I...
Giorno.
No.
Jolene.
No.
Okay, I'm right.
Hot pants. I saw so many hot pants. It was insane.
Wait, what? Like, with the whole, like... The petticoat sort of look?
Like the normal like the pink, pink ass hot pants. Even if I showed you the picture I took from there, you see a hot pants right away.
Yeah.
Like,
wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, but the best cosplay I think I saw of the weekend, I sent this of this one cosplayer. I retweeted if you want to see the cosplayer. She had like a full size torrent from Elden Ring. She was the
Melina.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is
with the eye?
Yeah, Melina, I think.
Yeah, but she had a full size torrent. It was amazing.
Yeah, I saw that like on whatever
Twitter,
social media. I'm not really on Twitter anymore.
Yeah, I sent it to you about like, oh yeah, Jim was using it. I gotta send it to him, like take a screenshot and send it to him. And there was also a Neko art that I saw that like it was like in the club, and I took a picture at the end of the gym.
Hilarious.
But the picture makes it look like it's like peering into my soul. It should just make the podcast thumbnail.
Does it also have the SpongeBob hat? Is that what
it looks like?
It looks like the SpongeBob working hat.
It's best not to question Neko art because that's going to be...
The other photo you sent with the guy's hand.
Yeah, that's the same photo.
Did you take that?
No, that was something they put it online. My sister sent to me just so I had 2 pictures to send.
Send that to me. I'll put a photo of that on the podcast if I remember.
I guess I put that in a group chat. But
that is hilarious. That image, like, yeah, I would love to have a full body Neko arc.
I was taking a walk around because I think I was waiting for people or trying to meet up with people, and there was just a random band just playing in a lobby, like an accordion. We're just there, and just people just chilling, just watching. I'm like, I guess that's the thing that's happening. But then I also bought a shirt from Artist Alley that was cool. It was like a Kingdom Hearts, like a World Tour band shirt where it has, instead of listing like the cities it visits, it's all the planets. So it looks. I love it.
This is so fucking nerdy.
I love it though. It's so great.
That's hilarious.
It's so stupid, but I fucking love it.
Some really cool guy is gonna say, "Cool shirt."
Yeah, he better. I'm gonna beat him up. But no, we went to the bar next to the convention, had happy hour, so we just got for $20, got some delicious like wings, loaded fry. It was a nice little time, but it just felt like a cursed ass Katsukon of like horrible like events that happened. Like, oh god, there was I saw like an ambulance go out in front there double times.
What?
Like an ambulance like pull it up because someone always I feel like passes out there.
Oh yeah.
But like, let's see if anything else that I'm missing from this. Neko art. No, that was pretty much Katsukon. It's still fun, but like I feel like, man, day 0 was somehow the most fun day. It was just like not as crowded. Everybody's like hanging out together because they have to make it their own. But like,
yeah, I honestly always like day 0 of a con. The ones that I've been to, I like that.
But yeah, that was my Katsukon. A lot of fun. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. Right, well, oh, one more thing. There was a random shrine someone made to the BlazBlue character riding the Blood Edge that just started... the size went from just a black and white picture of him to just this money left over, snacks left over. It was so fucking funny. But yeah, that was basically the con. Let's look at the picture from like the Kendrick circle, and there was Art the Clown went in there and started dancing to the part from Terrifier. But no, that was fun. I had a great time.
Well, thank you for sharing a con story with us.
Yeah, I the only con I really go to, but
I kind of want to go to a con again, but also like,
if anything, if
it was closer, I wouldn't mind.
If Anime Next was still a thing,
I hate that we don't have a bigger one in Philly. The only one in Philly that I know of
Comic-Con.
Well, I would never do a Comic-Con.
Too many games is close enough. That's like a good one-day con.
Too many games, and they have PAX Unplugged, which I like.
That's right.
PAX Unplugged is all just board games.
I think I went this when I went to see your show one time. That's what was going on. So when I on the way to Jim's event, I stopped at Starbucks and there was cosplayers like walking in. I'm like, this is weird.
I had an improv show that Sam went to, and
there were people with elf ears and staves were coming in there. Like, what is going on? That like,
it's really funny when people dress up for that one, because for me, every time I go
to a board game convention.
Yeah, I guess there's cards too. There's probably a lot of cards.
Maybe like a D&D, like famous D&D podcast or something.
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff like there's definitely tabletop stuff too, but for me the big appeal is
somebody from Dimension 20 or Critical Role is there.
Probably. I always want to go, but it's in like a really weird time.
Yeah. It's
like the first week of December, and for me that's just
December
is always so packed for me.
Maybe in the summer we go too many games.
Is it in summer?
Yeah.
It's
a good one-day con.
I would go for just a day. Yeah,
you can get like a good retro. My sister usually does cosplay wrestling there, so we can usually get a good see wrestling.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be a lot of fun actually. But I would do that. Summer's pretty open for me too.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
All right. Well, thank you for enjoying JoJo wrestling and
convention
Neko Arc. I hope you enjoy your month between hearing my voice, unless you want to go back and listen to some of our old ones. We talked about wanting to do we want to do more JOKAKAKAs, but I don't know. I just have a hard time like finding people sometimes.
And we also had a busy like past few months, especially even the Chainsaw Man we wanted to go back to, but everybody's been like busy for like the most part.
Yeah, I really would like to do more Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, especially with everything.
Medi for that one too.
Yeah, everybody's been like busy or like a lot of stuff going on, so which is understandable.
I also still kind of want to do a metaphor podcast, but
I do too. It's been a while. I did see some. Okay, you want to know?
Did you see Metaphor?
Yes, I saw a couple strolls. I saw a good bunch of what's it called? Hulkenberg. And I didn't see any like. I almost saw the villain with like the purple hair and the dog. I saw one.
I don't even.
I saw him. I'm trying to think of other ones that I met other than the main character. Trying to think.
Protagonist.
I saw protagonist. I don't think of anybody else. The one girl who cosplayed, because for some reason that's like the one person that pops up on my For You tab randomly. It's like the Hulkenberg cosplayer, and she had like a onesie of what's it called, Heisme.
Oh yeah.
So like I was like, oh, that's cool. Cute. But yeah, I saw a couple of those. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I love to see.
I would have loved to have seen a Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's my favorite.
Yes, I want to see a UFA, but I sadly did not get to see a UFA.
R.I.P.
Somebody with a eye, like a little like.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the eye.
Or just a full helmet.
All right. Well, with that, we're gonna end it.
All right. I guess I'll wrap it up.
Oh yeah, I'll
plug it up.
Just end it, but no, please do the plugs.
Well, thank you very much for listening. If you liked this episode, please do all the stuff that helps the podcast, like liking, subscribing, sharing, leaving a review, all those little things. You also follow it on us on social media, me, Jim, or the podcast. Jim doesn't use it nearly as much, but hey, they're there if you just want to follow it.
I thought of a funny joke this month, so I actually posted something on the.
Look at you.
I thought I posted it on the.
And then also, when your name, like I said before, shout out on the podcast for every episode. Leave whatever you feel comfortable leaving on our Patreon, and you too can have your name shouted out by me and or Jim.
By me and or Jim.
We had to do like a one where we read it.
We trade off each name. Yeah, we definitely should do that.
But yeah, and with that, we will see you next month, I guess, in March. We're getting close to maybe part 7 announcement, so I'm excited. But you know what we're not going to do? Watch this event live. Because all we can get is Johnny JPEG, and God help us if we have to live through months of Johnny JPEG.
After that fucking bullshit that one time where they were like, oh, we're going to translate it, like, bitch.
Oh my god, those subtitles were so funny, though.
They literally use, like, machine learning.
Ooh. Actually, I'm going to be in Japan next month. Let's see.
You're going to be there live at the event?
I'm going to be in Japan, so next month might be a little bit late, because I will be in Japan probably when the chapter drops.
That's fine.
So I won't be back until the Friday of the 21st, so... So yeah, I'll pick up the Ultra Jump myself and read it.
You definitely should.
But
that's I wish I'd found an Ultra Jump when I was in Japan. I would have bought it. I couldn't find any though.
My sister had the hardest time trying to find it. She wasn't even sure like it was the right one. It was so massive too.
Yeah, like when I was in like at the 7-Eleven, you can get a Shonen Jump super easy. There were a couple other ones too, but I didn't see any Ultra Jumps when I was looking at like just publication racks or whatever.
I remember Rocky saying recently in an interview where like he's been like really loving this like manga that's been going in Ultra Jump. I think it's called like Love, Revenge, and Such, like a body swap manga.
That's interesting.
They've been reading, so I don't think anybody translated
the idea
it.
of Araki reading manga. That's awesome.
I
just think of him just being like a weird guy that just sits and eats like crepes or whatever.
I'm pretty sure his recent like author note from like this volume or this chapter was just like, I went to dinner with this guy today. It was spaghetti. It was nice.
I just imagine him fucking being like excited about Italian food. Like that's just all. So I'm happy that he's like reading manga.
I would love to hear manga's opinions on other manga more, because like I hear that a lot. Like a lot of fighting game directors in Japan like talk about, oh, we love Virtual Fighter, like we want to support other fighting games because we just love this one particular, like the guy from Tekken loves Virtual Fighter, and he's like, I love it, I won't put them in until they have a game name in here so I can help promote their game more. Like,
I feel like a lot of them they might be a little afraid to.
A lot of them are all drinking buddies too. After they work at like a day, they just go out to have a beer. So like, but manga, I'm just saying, yeah, I wanted love to hear.
Mangakas seem to be a lot more solitary in terms of like working, and it feels like they're almost afraid to. I mean, you always hear they'll be like, oh my god, like Oda sensei, like they'll talk about certain guys, like there's like your standard guys that get reverence, but
like, Araki goes out a lot, I feel, and like Oda actually goes out to see the One Piece live action, like, oh, I love to see him go out and be active like that. Like I don't know, have to picture them being alone in their room, like,
literally just drawing, yeah,
like
and in Araki's little studio just drawing.
Yeah, I love to hear just, you know, what they think is the best thing they're currently reading. I wish we had that more.
Yeah, it's interesting because also it's like two things. Like, oh, are they not reading anything?
They don't have time to.
Is that why? Yeah, like, is that just not? Also, like, if you're creative and you're engaging in like making something, I can imagine the temptation to not want to read anything else because you don't want to steal that. That's the thing. Like,
you're stealing an idea.
You might, and like, I feel like I do this in my own life where like I feel like I steal things by accident. Like, so I can imagine not wanting to engage with other art when you're producing that specific medium.
Yeah, I get that, especially when you listen to like other podcasts or like, did I just like say something that they said or something, you know? So I try to avoid like discussion threads before a podcast episode.
Oh yeah,
for the most part,
I
might see like one or two things on social media, but like other than that, like, you know.
Yeah, whenever I would go into these episodes, I've always wanted to go in as blind. Like, I don't want to see what the fans are speculating on. I want to carry my own thoughts in, and then afterwards, I'll be like, oh yeah, I guess Howler is the name of a wolf man. I guess he is a vampire.
I guess he really is the Aka Howard.
He is the Aka Howard.
It's spelled the same forward and back.
Haktua.
Haktua Howard. Aka Howler is unleashing a new cryptocurrency.
All right, we haven't done
Aka coin.
It's been too long. All right. You plugged us, right? All right.
I did plug us. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
See you next month.
Bye.